Unbeaten Aussie boxing prospect Hassan Hamdan has recently been speaking of his father's initial disapproval of his career choice. The older Hamdan was himself a professional boxer, finishing with a career record of 44-14-1, but when Hassan informed him of his preferred career choice, he wasn't too happy with his son's plans. Today, we're discussing why Nasir's father discouraged his boxing career, so stay right where you are. First up, let's have a look at Hassan's career to date. Hassan made his professional boxing debut back in 2017 against Fijian Felix William Changsu, winning the fight via TKO. But it was more than a year before he was out again, taking on the winless Australian Thai fighter Utin Chanavan in a unanimous decision victory in December 2020. The younger Hamdan then improved his record to 3-0 in his next fight in June 2021, when he took on fellow Australian Jack the Ripper Moore, scoring a majority decision win over his countryman. And in a bid to make up for the lost time, Hamdan has fought twice already this year, disposing of Ryan COTTEN in early April, then Trent Girdham earlier this month, both by split decision, to take his professional record to 5-0 so far. Have you been following Hamdan's fledgling career so far? Give us your thoughts below. And what did Dad have to say about Hassan's career choice? As you'll know if you're a boxing fan, Hassan's father Nader was also a professional boxer, and Hassan even trains under Dad's old trainer Jeff FENECH. But before he gave his blessing, Nader had serious reservations as to whether Hassan had what it takes to make it in one of the toughest sports around. But it wasn't to do with his talent, it was the mental aspect of being messed around in a sport which has long been linked with corrupt and shady figures. And Hassan, speaking recently, said, "There's a side of boxing people don't see. That's why he wanted me to steer away from it. But there's good and bad in everything. And I've got the right team around me, and now I've got the best promoters in Australia putting me in their shows." And Nader knows a thing or two about how the sport works, once being the number 2 ranked middleweight in the world. However, he never got the chance to fight for a title, something which appears to sit uncomfortably with him. Hamdan Sr. was a big threat to the more well-known fighters in his division, and he believes that is the reason why he was never given a shot, which is why he did his best to discourage his son from taking up the sport. Do you guys remember Nader Hamdan's career? Let us know about his best performance below. So, what else did Hassan have to say? Stay with us to find out. Well, of course, being the son of a boxer, some have probably said it was written in the stars that Hassan's career was predetermined. But at the beginning, he had to hide his choice of work. After quickly realizing he couldn't train alone, it dawned on him that he would have to have some sort of help. He said, "I went to the gym and thought I'll try and train by myself. Then I started sparring with some boys and I was copping a bit of a bashing. So I thought I'm going to train and started under Michael Akawi. I didn't tell my dad at the time. As things got more serious and I committed myself, I told him." But the young Hamdan was surprised by his father's response. He said that he believed his father didn't think he'd be able to do it, so gave him his blessing only if he was able to commit himself longer than 6 months. He went on to explain that after a stint in Thailand, he soon turned pro, but Nader still thought it was a phase. He revealed, "It all started off like, yeah, get it out of your system, but it's not leaving anytime soon." And although he was nervous when he first started out, Hassan said that it's now his father who's more nervous. What have you guys made of Hassan's start to his career? Give us your thoughts below. Next up, Nader was not happy after his son's latest win over Trent Girdham. Stay with us to hear all about it. Following Hassan's last fight against Trent Girdham last week, the two camps nearly came to blows after a heated bout threatened to boil over. And of course, Hassan's dad Nader was in his corner for the fight, as well as his trainer Jeff FENECH. And at one stage, it looked as though Hassan was facing the first loss of his career after being knocked down in the first round. However, he fought back and in the final round appeared to have thrown his opponent, which Girdham's corner did not appreciate in the slightest. Girdham actually fell out of the ring, but once the fight finished, the pair embraced. But the niceties didn't last long, and when it was announced that Hamdan had won the fight, the atmosphere quickly soured. Girdham stormed out of the ring as Hamdan attempted to shake hands before Rodney Sinclair, who trains Girdham, insulted the Hamdan corner. And after the fight, Hamdan explained what was said, revealing, "I thought I'd go and shake his hand and show some sportsmanship, but they brushed it off and he walked out without shaking my hand. And then his trainer comes up to me and goes, 'You've got Jeff FENECH privilege.' He meant we had the judges on our side. So my dad gave him a bit of a shove. He was a bit agitated, but he loves me." And Hamdan explained that it was just a case of a father looking out for his son, claiming his dad is actually one of the calmest people ever. News from the top fight on the bill next. Stay tuned. Paul Gallen was out last week, topping the bill after Hamdan had defeated Girdham. And the toughest man in Australia almost pulled off one of the best comeback wins in recent memory in his heavyweight title fight against Chris Terzievsky. The fight started in the worst possible manner for Gallen, receiving a bit of a pasting early on, but he soon came back into it, laying it on thick in the final rounds. And he showed fans just why he's considered one of the toughest guys in the division. decision, but ultimately it proved too little, too late. All three judges scored the fight 97-92 to Tersievsky, who was visibly relieved at the end of the fight. And Gallon, who was responding to claims he might be about to retire, said after the fight, age is undefeated, and after only starting his career at the age of 32, it's possible he's only just getting started. Of course, we're joking, but it seems as though he has no plans to hang up the gloves just yet. The fight looked as if it was heading in the direction of Gallon after Tersievsky was docked a point in the 7th for pushing, and some fans and commentators suggested after the fight that if it was a 12-round bout, Gallon might have been able to find the knockout he was so desperately craving, which seems likely given how he finished. What did you guys make of the 40-year-old's performance? Let us know below. Next up, another son of a famous boxer, Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu, son of boxing legend Kostya, has had his say on Jermell Charlo after the American claimed he wasn't in the running to challenge him for his titles. Charlo was out this past weekend, scoring an impressive knockout win over Brian Castano, and Tszyu was ringside to get an up-close view of his rival. But following the fight, Charlo was less than complimentary about Kostya's son, saying, "Didn't he get dropped? That mother effer's out. He got dropped. It's a different heat over here in America, baby. It's a different heat in America." He then went on to claim he didn't even know his name, referring to him as Tim 2 and then Tim Kazoo, which will not have won him any fans down under. But in a measured and calm response, Tszyu said, "He knows exactly who I am," when he made an appearance on Fox Sports News on May 16. And Tszyu wasn't finished there, warning Charlo that he is the mandatory challenger, and if he doesn't take the fight within 3 months, he'll have to vacate, before throwing down the gauntlet to Charlo by saying, "You either vacate the belt or fight me. That's the only choice he's got," before calling him a very disrespectful man. It will be interesting to see if Tszyu and Charlo do share the ring together at some stage, and Tszyu, who is #1 WBO challenger, has made his intentions clear. Who do you guys have should this one go down? As always, thanks for dropping by today, and remember to tune in next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video with any boxing fan fiends you might have lurking in your socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more great future content. Bye guys!